So good morning all and welcome to the first forward discussion panel of EBACE 2023. My name is Desigen, the US Director of Vendor Relation and Global Network. And I'm delighted today to be joined by our esteemed panelists to discuss trip support, the challenges of the current operational landscape, how client demands are changing, and how can we build opportunities moving forward. I have today with me Ms. Anna from Flystar, Mr. Will from Harrods Aviation, Mr. Evgeny from General Aviation Service Spain, and Mr. Manuel from Manny Aviation. Panelists, welcome. So I would be grateful if you talk a little bit about yourself and tell us who you are and about your organization. Anna?
Thank you very much for having me here today. My name is Anna Marojevic, originally from Montenegro. I am a founder and group chief executive of company Flystar, Fly Support. We are represented in Balkan region, more 24 stations through Balkan region. At the same time, I am the general manager of ground handling company in Montenegro and Serbia, Menzies Aviation.
Thank you so much, Anna. Mr. Will.
Good morning. Good morning. Our microphone is not working. Yeah. Doesn't really help. Can I borrow yours, Manny? Thank you. There we go. It's working now. Morning. My name's Will Holroyd. I'm the commercial director with Harrods Aviation. We're a 2 FBO operation in London, London Luton and London Stansted. I've been attending EBACE since the year 2000. So, with the exception of COVID, this would have been my 23rd year attending this show. It's a pleasure to be here.
So you're royalty from EBACE then?
I don't know about royalty. I think I've been doing it long enough to know my way around Geneva.
Thank you so much for accepting to be on our panel. Mr. Manuel?
Thank you, Desigen. I'm Manuel Romero Vargas. I'm the managing director of Manny. I've been with the company since 2001. I've been attending EBACE for the past 10 years. We do ground handling and FBO coordination all over Mexico. I went to law school in Mexico City, and well, this is my passion. People serving business aviation, people serving people, it's what drives me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manuel. And last but not least, Mr. Evgeny.
Thank you very much for having me here today. My name is Evgeny Shadov, aviation enthusiast with over 20 years of experience in aviation industry. Talking about the passion, I started my career in commercial aviation, serving as a head of operations. But actually my passion lie in business aviation. So right now I'm proudly associated to General Aviation Services. It's an FBO network in Spain. We have 8 main Spanish locations and now newly opened Alicante.
Friends, like I said, this is a morning chat to try to discuss a little bit about the market and so on. Post-COVID, we've seen the market growing quite extensively, and from a business perspective and also from a trip support perspective. I mean, the global jet market is recently, and I think Honeywell predict that we're going to have a market growth of $36.94 billion by 2028. But we would like to know, from your region perspective, from your on-ground aspect, Ms. Anna, what do you see in the Balkans?
As we all know, the private jet industry is very sensitive. Over the past 2 years, we have faced many global issues such as COVID and now the Russian-Ukraine conflict. However, the Balkan region has seen a positive growth in general aviation business. I would say the Balkan region has the high percent of tourists and clients from Russia and Ukraine. And of course, we lost of them. But anyway, the new markets and the new opportunities open doors and others markets such as Western Europe and Middle East. Generally, across the Balkan region, tourism and transport are very important area, and government are placing their focus. Key all of the governments in our countries is attracting and welcoming global investments, which is beneficial for private jet aviation. Anyway, today we have a lot of significant number investment, luxury investment and marinas such as Porto Montenegro, in Tivat, in Belgrade waterfront, and very soon is coming in Albania by MR, huge project, and it is good sign and a very good sign for approval and to increase general aviation in our region. Anyway, I would say that generally is a good future for general aviation in our countries.
So from you saying the market is kind of positively reappreciating investment into general aviation.
Yes, we appreciate investment and aviation and tourism. It's very important areas in all our countries through Balkan region.
Mr. Manuel, how about in the Latin American region? How are they reacting to that?
Mexico has been a big market for trip support. And why is that? Because of the amount of Mexican national business aircraft sitting in different airports around Mexico. Yeah, but that's pretty accurate. From time to time, we are seeing more Mexican registration aircraft, X-ray Alphas, and also individuals and Mexican national companies buying pre-owned aircraft, new aircraft, and because they realize why business aviation is bringing to their table. You know, it's the mobility, the flexibility that they can conduct business. So yeah, Mexico has been in terms of buying pre-owned and new aircraft, it's rising by all means. And I will say that once there is an important shift in terms of the political scenario, things will continue growing.
That's nice. Well, you've seen quite a few movement in London with the King coronations and quite some royal movement. How about you from your Harrods perspective?
So, of course, I can only speak for the London region. Both our FBOs in 2022 had record years. We saw more traffic through London in 2022 than we've seen in any other year to date. So incredibly successful year last year for us. We have seen a slight slowdown in traffic this year. Of course, we had that huge spike with the King's coronation where we handled 22 head of state flights, over 1,000 passengers in a weekend. But that's an anomaly. We can't expect a coronation every year, unfortunately. I'd love it if we did. We've seen, as I say, a slightly slower start to the year this year, but I think that's reflective of the industry in general. I think 2022 for everyone was quite a remarkable year. We have seen, like I say, a slight slowdown, but it's certainly not negative, and we're still seeing an incredibly busy ramp at both locations. The one challenge we're facing right now is that the airports aren't getting any bigger, but the aircraft are. And all of our customers are starting to fly in larger aircraft. The manufacturers here, guaranteed this week, are going to make announcements about the next bigger, better aircraft. And sadly, we've all got to find space for those on the ground somewhere because...
and we'll be fighting for slots, really.
Exactly, yeah. Slots and just parking space becomes a big issue. But in general, incredible year. I'm seeing a really strong future for us.
Evgeny, Spain is always a touristic destination. Yeah. So all the jetters coming back to Spain?
Yeah, Spain, it's incredible destination. Have you ever been in Spain?
I'm coming soon.
You're
inviting me today,
yes,
right?
please come. It's a great destination. So, yeah, Spain, it's, I think last year it was on the top of the list all the time in the statistics. We experienced a surge on demand for private jet assistance, especially last year was incredibly successful for us. As my colleague just said, we experienced as well some slowdown during the winter. Even we've been a bit concerned about this winter because it was like pre-pandemic levels, even lower, but we're now experiencing the kind of a new trend in the traffic that we started the high season earlier. So normally our high season starting in second half of May, and we already started in March. So, but yeah, we've been very, very positive for this year, and we expect to close this year with up to 25% of increase in Spain and generally in traffic. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Our industry has always been influenced with climate interaction in terms of political or pandemic. You know, How do we, from our own perspective, how do we react to it, and how is it operating under those circumstances? For example, you talk about the Ukraine and Russia incidents. We've got the pre-COVID. We've got different aspects of things coming up, where the UK also were, leaving Europe. How do we, as professionals, like trip support providers or FBOs, operate in this environment?
For sure, it was not easy. During COVID, we had increased general aviation in our business, in our region. This was due to the fact that we had no restriction in our countries for private jet travel, especially in the station where we represented. Following that, we lost a lot of clients, as I said, due to the conflict, Russian-Ukraine conflict. However, it made us to do focus on other markets and also to do some strategic things inside our businesses. We implement as I think many companies, cost-cutting measures, but also we do some strategic things and do focus in reorganization and to put all efforts to improve our services we provided. For example, we had two kinds of businesses, one ground handling and cargo business, and we did during COVID, because we lost a lot of Russian and Ukraine clients, we did a joint venture with Menzies, and this kind of business we ensure better grow with them and to focus for Western Europe clients. And for general aviation, we put focus on improve our level of services to be separate than our competition. Anyway, I think all crisis is on its good chance for all of us. And even though we faced many challenges, we made some strategic things. I'm absolutely believe that we ensure future growth, and we are absolutely ready to move forward.
I think this is one of the things we can take from there, that this the post-pandemic allowed people to start working closely together. I mean, we from UAS perspective, we've entered into a lot of strategic partnership with local service providers, and joining hands together is better for the future. Like earlier, we were all competitors and trying to fight each other. The good positive part we can take from that is this. So, Evgeny, tell us a little bit of how GAS reacted a little bit on that kind of thing.
Well, as I said before, the last year and the year before, right after pandemic, was very challenging for us, and actually 2022 really put us to test, because it was not expected, this growth that we experienced. But I can tell that we always knew that eventually one day all the traffic and the volumes will come back to the normal or pre-pandemic levels. But yeah, we're facing a lot of challenges right now. Right after pandemic, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine starts. So as Anna said before, we also been, one of our major traffic was traffic coming from Russia and with the Russian passengers. So right now, we lost all of this traffic. And last year, at the beginning of this year, was a bit readjusting of the way how we work, readjusting the way who we attend, and so. Actually, we depend a lot in Spain on the restrictions, because there are some certain airports that now starting to impose some restrictions on slots, parking, restrictions and regulations by the maximum takeoff weight. So we all facing these new challenges as well. But very, very positive about this year, and what we experiencing right now, it's increase in demand, and this way we decided to open new location, and we're expanding this year to other locations in Spain.
Okay. One of the things that we've seen now is cost. I'm going to talk about this big elephant in the room. Operating after COVID, we've seen a lot of the clients, they're very concerned about the operational cost about trying to minimize the operational cost of the operations. But from an FBO perspective, from a supplier perspective, the cost increased in terms of manpower, in terms of kind of everything. So how does Harrods Aviation work towards keeping that low and the service quality high?
So I think the most important thing to reference there is the word service. And our business would be nothing if we didn't provide the very best level of service to our customers. Fortunately, most of our customers fully appreciate the fact that to provide the best level of service comes at a cost. And that cost is primarily labor, but also equipment and facilities. We don't shy away from the fact that perhaps we aren't the cheapest, and we're actually quite proud of that because we truly believe in the service that we offer. I always think in our industry, service will outstrip cost at any point. I don't think that's something we need to be that concerned about. We're very proud of the service that we provide, and our customers fully appreciate that there's a price to pay for that.
You rightly pointed that. Service comes with a price.
At the same time, we fully appreciate that we work in a very competitive market, and that's why we work with companies like UAS to ensure that the service we provide and the price that the customer pays is appropriate.
Thank you. And Manuel, the Latin American region, how does it differ? Because from Europe, the cost centered in Europe might not exactly be the same in Latin America. Tell us a little bit more.
Well, in Mexico, it's a huge market, as I mentioned, not only for the trip support companies that they want to provide their services to this Mexican national, but within the ground handling business, there is a lot of competition. You need to be very creative, establish a good partnership. As Will said, service is a priority. Cheap is not always the better. You need to be very creative and establish.
Keep that one. Cheap is not always the better.
No, of course not. Client, of course not. In the long run, you will suffer. You will struggle. So as a handler, as a service provider, being an extension of UAS, you need to be very conscious in terms of cost. Of course, there are airport fees that you cannot manage, that you cannot control. But yes, you can share to your customers all these, ISBA, as Manny is an ISBA certification handler. Sometimes, to hold this kind of achievement doesn't have a price.
It costs money.
It costs money, and that's we always investing in training within our colleagues.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of operators nowadays. They're looking for ISBA certified suppliers.
By all means.
Yeah, insurance companies tend to be more confident when you're using certified handlers, and then it comes with a price. As with UAS also, one of the things that we provide, like the white glove service that we're trying to provide to customers, comes with a price, and that association with proper partners that can deliver the goods end of the day is important. Prior to sustainability, Evgeny, a lot of talks lately about sustainability and the changes in the coming years. What are your input about that?
Well, sustainability was a concern in the recent years, and unfortunately by some organizations they say that business aviation is the least sustainable way of traffic by the number of passengers, of course. I even heard that they call our industry as climate criminals sometimes, which is discussable. But of course, as a FBO and as a service provider, handling provider in Spain, we also always trying to address these concerns and to see what we can do to be environmentally friendly and to adopt the eco practices in our daily operation, daily life, and so. In Spain, actually, we are under very, very tough regulations when we talk about the sustainability in the airports as a handling provider. So we're trying to go whenever we can green. We call it green. So we use electric power machines and ground service equipment. Even this year, I think this month, will be being certified by ISO 14001, which is the environmental management system. So yeah, we're trying to address all these concerns and be on top of our priorities, as we are a partner for UAS as well. So for you, whenever you're trying to promote our services in Spain, to know that you have a partner who is trying to respond these concerns and address these concerns regarding this in the country.
Well, how's Harrods going green?
That's really interesting. We currently have one of the largest fleets of electric V-Class vehicles in the UK. So wherever possible, all of our airside vehicles are electric. We're also responding to customer demand. Customers are more than ever now requesting SAF. Physical supply of SAF is minimal right now. We all know this. It's very challenging to be able to purchase that. Getting better. And that's something we're absolutely looking at. But we do offer our customers now a carbon offset program, which is something that they can talk to our sales team about. And we're doing that, again, in response to customer demand. And I think that's where change is going to happen. More and more of our customers, when we're talking with some of the Formula One teams, talking with some of the sports teams, they've set themselves very strong targets to provide a sustainable travel service. And that's something that we're responding to on their behalf. So when you're looking at sustainable aviation fuel or carbon offsets or even a book and claim program, that's something that we're investing in right now, along with, as you say, the green moves that we've made to ensure that as much as is physically possible, we're using green equipment on the airside.
Manuel, so is the Mexican doing this to look good, or just they really believe in sustainability?
Well, in Mexico, we're still in diapers in regards to sustainability. And why is that? It's all depends on the political scenario. If there will be a radical change in the next months, changing the administration, because right now our government is not looking towards sustainability. In aviation or business aviation, it's a term that no one knows, unfortunately. But in Manny, we are very conscious about, climate change and in the process of changing part of our ground support equipment in Toluca. The Toluca airport, it's the airport that serves most of the business aviation in the country, towards changing to electrical equipment. But that's something that I cannot address anymore because it's not there, unfortunately.
So Manny Aviation would like to set the example down there.
Well, all depends if we can, gather strong players to one day incorporate the Mexican Business Aviation Association. How come in Mexico we don't have this kind of non-profit organization when there is, after the US, the country with more business jets in the world, Mexico is within the top 5, and we don't have, this kind of entity doing a counterweight to defend our industry before, all these struggles that we've been facing with the Mexican government. And of course, one of the struggles is sustainability.
And awareness is very important. I think from a UAS perspective also, one of our co-founders, Mr. Omar here, I think he climbed on the highest mountain in the world just to create awareness to get people to understand that yes, business aviation, we do fly one guy in a big bird, but end of the day, we want to give back to the society and put it forward. Since I have you here, Manuel, how do you see the demand evolving towards trip support solutions? What are the services that are being offered, and what are the new type of requirements today?
Trip support has always been looking to Mexico since day one. And right now, in the market, 25 years ago, you could only witness 2 or 3 players. Now you have a dozen, and UAS is there. And UAS has been, looking after Mexico, and that's why you have presence there. It's like a research of trip support in the world. And to do that, you need to rely on decent handlers with integrity that are your extension. And those extensions, your handlers, your service providers that you are picking, that you are choosing, they need to be your feeders with reliable information that you can share to your customers, to the operators flying through the region, especially Mexico.
Access to information is very important.
Yes.
In terms of keeping awareness again, Well,
so with regards to trip planning, one of the problems the industry faces is the ease in which anyone can enter the market. So, there are a lot of providers within the market. We're very fortunate with Harrods Aviation. We're a busy organization. We get to choose who we work with. And we choose to only work with the trip planning companies that we believe in, that we believe are actually adding value to the service. So companies like UAS are very important to us, not just from a service standpoint, but also when you look at credit. If UAS bring a customer to us, we know we're going to get paid.
Yeah.
That's incredibly important.
We do make sure of that.
Exactly. And it's so simple to set up a trip planning company. We all know this. Someone can set up a trip planning company in their bedroom with a laptop in the same way that you could set up an air charter company in your bedroom with a laptop. But actually having the robust organization behind that to not just support the service but also the finances is so important to us. And it actually takes a lot of the burden away from the FBO service provider to know that they've got a good, robust, solid trip planning company to work with. We'd much rather be working with companies like UAS than direct with a lot of our customers, because it just makes the invoicing process, it makes the service quality that we can provide so much easier.
I mean, the alignment of the vision and the mission between the trip support company and the service provider is important, because we're going to see the same vision. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that trip support companies is very, very important part of the generally and the travel experience of the customer and the operator. And we as handling or FBO network and association, we play a crucial role of the entire ecosystem of trip support. So we like to work with the companies, as my colleague just said. We work with a lot of trip support companies. It's very easy to settle a new one, but UAS is one of the most important for us as a partner. So I think this access to the information we've been talking before is one of the important things right now, because in my daily experience, we experienced a lot of questions raised from the flight support companies. They asking us about the regulation, about the restriction, about the traffic, about the migration restrictions, visa, and all this stuff. So I think this information that we can provide and be a reliable partner for you and trusted partner that you can trust in, it's one of the important things. Yeah.
Thank you, Chima. Finally, the last question. We've seen the industry is now experiencing AI and chat GPT. It's going to be the vertical word of everybody here, like chat GPT. What is the next step for trip support? What is the next step for us? I mean, we've been doing the same service for quite some years now. So how do we grow?
I actually heard Manny say this morning already, and this is a people serving people industry. And I don't see that changing that much. I think some of the back office activity may change slightly, but actually our industry is built on people, and I don't see that changing very much in the future. I know our customers want to be met by a person. I know they want to see human beings. I know they want to see that interaction. It's why people fly around the world. They fly around the world because that human interaction like we're having here today is so important. And I don't see that changing for our industry. I think there's a lot to be said for automation and automation in some parts of our industry, absolutely. But I think overall, people serving people is what this industry will remain all about.
I think you're right. Anna, anything you would like to add on that in terms of service from Flystar?
Yeah, as I already told, for us, focus in improve our level of services. We did many reorganization. We put focus on other markets, not just markets what we provided before services to them. And I'm sure it is good future for us, and we are ready to move forward. And we did a lot of strategic partnership agreements also with UAS, and it is a good deal for us. And I believe it's future. It's good, looking good.
Manuel, any last words?
I think we'll said it all. But there is a lot of opportunities in Mexico to invest because airport infrastructure it's pretty poor. But human beings creating more jobs at certain locations that we are betting. Cities like Oaxaca, Cozumel Island, hubs, all this environment that we are seeing, even though that we constantly struggle with the government, the new shoring. We're seeing more new businesses coming to invest in Mexico. Instead of looking to China, they are looking to Mexico.
That's good. That's
And having America, the U.S. as our neighbors, that's where it's happening, and also from Europe.
Evgeny?
Well, you asked before about the chat GPT. Actually, I'm not very concerned about it. I think, as just colleague said, that the people serving people, it's the most important part, and the personal relationships is the one of the things that will moving forward on this, and we have to trust each other in this business, because at the end of the day, it's about business aviation. All of this, about the service, about the quality, about the VIP and the real VIP experience. So ChatGPT, okay, you can use it maybe for your daily work. It helps to you to, I don't know, create some documents and to streamline some processes, but at the end of the day, it will be the call I'll give to you, on you the call give to me and say, Evgeny, I have a problem. So this is how it works.
So panelists, thank you so much. I'm going to end this on 2 words. We're going to have service is about serving people, and cheap is not good, right? Thank you so much, and on behalf of UAS, we appreciate for your presence here today. Thank you.